Hey guys, I am here in my super messy garage again. If you saw my Instagram post, I mentioned in my last video that you got to sneak a peek at my very messy garage. Although I will say, my husband did some clean out this weekend, although now it's all outside, so not really sure that counts. But he's working on it. So I just wanted to give an update on how our meat birds are going. In my last video, which I'll link above and I'll also link down in the description, I mentioned that we are experimenting this spring with the Cornish crosses versus the Red Rangers. We've done a lot of the Cornish crosses and they've been fine. They definitely produce great meat, particularly nice large breast pieces, but we haven't been super pleased with their survival rate and they're just messy. They consume a ton of food. So I wanted to experiment with the Red Rangers and see if, even though they might not grow as quickly and maybe not have as much as far as meat on their bones, if in the long run I felt like they were a better meat bird to raise. So everybody's getting their feathers. They're definitely getting bigger. I have been comparing weights, and weight-wise, I'm finding that the Red Rangers are lagging behind by about 4 to 6 ounces. So, I mean, right now that's kind of big just because they're only slightly over a pound, but you know, I'm going to keep weighing and see if in the long run, if it stays only a few ounces, then that's really not that bad. The broilers over here are in desperate need of a bedding change. It's been less than 48 hours and it's nasty in there. My Red Rangers over here, it has been almost 4 days since the bedding change and it's not awful. It definitely needs to be changed, but it's not awful. So I'm definitely finding that the Red Rangers are just consuming a lot less as far as materials. They're consuming less bedding because they don't need it changed as frequently. They're consuming less feed, and then clearly they're not pooping it all back out again because their bedding's not super messy. So I'm definitely liking that factor. So I really hope when we butcher them that I'm not like disappointed by birds that just don't have as good of meat. We butchered our layers before and that's a huge disappointment. So especially when you compare them to like the Cornish crosses, if you've ever butchered both, you know what I'm talking about. And I also wanted to just mention, I didn't mention our brooder setup before, but I wanted to just talk about quickly just what we do as far as brooders for our chicks. We don't have a barn, we don't have any outbuildings, sheds, nothing. So we use our garage and we don't have a ton of storage space, so I don't want to store things like, you know, these big wooden brooder boxes or you know, the water troughs or anything like that. And everything we do, we're doing on a very limited budget. This is kind of the overgrown hobby for us. This isn't a huge moneymaker, although that's one of my kind of goals this year is to hopefully start making the animals pay for themselves at least. But we don't have a huge budget. So I came up with this system using just cheap kitty snapset pools. This is a great time of year to find them because summer is coming, but you can find them on Amazon in the middle of the winter. And they're not super expensive. 10 to 15 bucks is probably the average depending on the size you get. These are 6-foot pools. And this will hold about 30 to 35 birds until they're like 3 to 3.5 weeks old. Once they start hitting that point, it gets a little tight. We've pushed them a little bit closer to 4 weeks. Like if the weather, you know, if they're calling, we need to put them outside, but they're calling for like 3 days of rain, we're not going to put them outside. So we have pushed them. It definitely, you know, you're going to need to probably change bedding a little bit more. It's not ideal, but it would work. So what we do is we take these snapset pools. They're about a foot tall, and then we add, this is 6 foot, just, you know, galvanized fencing, and we cut that in half to make it 3 feet tall. We, as you can kind of see here, we've scrapped it together just using leftover pieces, so super cost effective because we're just using scraps, stuff we might have gotten rid of anyways. And then this stand that the heat lamps are on, see if I can show you that better, is just PVC piping, I had this stand for something else that I was doing, but I didn't need it for that anymore, so we turned it into a stand for the heat lamps to help prevent them from falling and being a fire hazard. But it would be really inexpensive to build one of these stands out of PVC piping. You know, you're talking you could probably do it for under $10. And then I have tons of those plastic feeders, and the waters, I just buy those at my local feed store. And they're about, I think the feeders are like $2 something, and the waters, each part is like $2 something. So it's like $5 a water and like maybe $3 a feeder. And they work well. The plastic I like because I can really clean it out well. So I do like those versus the galvanized metal ones that, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can clean those out just the same, but I mean, you can put these in the dishwasher if you really want to, so that's kind of nice. Not that I ever would. But these have worked really well, and one of my favorite parts about these is that we just, when we're done, we roll up the wire, we roll up the pool. I can fit 4 of these pools in one of those like medium-sized Rubbermaid bins, throw all the lamps into a bin, throw all the feeders and waters into a bin, and that's it. It's a few large Rubbermaid containers worth of stuff, and then I just throw it on a shelf, and that's it. So I have found that this system works really well. It's super scalable because you just buy as many pools as you need, and you can start out with a few small ones. You know, when they're tiny chicks, you can cram a bunch into one and then add pools as you need more room. You know, they're easy to clean. The durability at the pool has actually been pretty good. I have found my favorite bedding cleaning outing shovel is, I was using metal shovels, rip the bottom, so don't use those. Snow shovels work well, but a lot of them have that metal blade on them, and they're kind of a little oversized for it, so I stole my son's little kitty snow shovel. There's no metal blade. It's the perfect size. I'm short, so the handle length isn't a big deal. But that works really well for cleaning out bedding. And then I just store the bedding in trash cans, and then I'm going to compost that. So I got to finish up my compost bin, though. That's on the mile-long to-do list. And like Saturday, it was raining. It's been like really chilly and gross. I was all excited. Like Saturday, my husband was going to be home. We were going to get all this stuff done, and then it rained. And then yesterday was not bad. But he needed to mow the grass because the next few days are going to be rainy, and then it's going to be 80. I mean, you can see I got a coat on. Like, this is ridiculous. But it's supposed to be 80 in like 2 or 3 days. So I'm hoping, because the Cornish crosses turn 3 weeks tomorrow, and then the Red Rangers turn 3 weeks on Wednesday. And the forecast looks great through the weekend, so I'm going to keep watching it because I hope we can put them out to pasture if we can get the repairs and the remodeling done on the chicken tractors in time. We can put them out to pasture this weekend, but they don't have much longer in here, so I'm hoping that it looks good and it's not like going to be, you know, 50 degrees and raining all of next week. But who knows? It's Maryland. It's totally unpredictable in the spring. So I will keep you guys posted and keep you guys updated. If you have any questions, comments, tips, let me know. Be sure to subscribe so you can get more updates, and I'll talk to you guys later.